Did a reckless call decide that you were leaving? Traded all you left behind for other skies, to where the rain offers mercy, grants the faithful a disguise. If ever tears should wash away your paper smile, when the battle was through and done, decreed by judgment of the sun, had you lost more than all that you can say you'd won? Did you ask or ever wonder if I'd been on your side, or followed every step you took along the way? Guarded you secrets and never told, wove the tales to which we'd hold, myths we tell ourselves in order to survive. When to your eyes the world's a stranger, without courage and full of anger, like castles on the sand before the tide. Was it fortune holding sway when you walked away? Laid the king down on his side when you resigned. A ring of metal for a crown, adorned with stones to weigh it down, rags for robes to cover up your foolish sides. For chance exchanged your pain and loss, wagered all on love and trust. His fate alone is not written in the stars.
Good evening and welcome back to my Dwarven fortress by the name of Esmulrakust, which we have recently been improving the defences of a little bit after a couple of sessions ago the goblins actually managed to get inside the fortress. But they, like another, actually possibly the same batch of goblins, did try to attack us last session and didn't get anywhere near, even though we were still halfway through building the new defences. So that's nice. And yes, I think we had just dealt with the end of that siege when we wound up on Sunday. And I think there is currently someone in the throes of a strange mood, and possibly we're still linking up some of the yes, there they are, and we're still linking up some levers in order to make the new access to the front bolt throwers a little bit more able to be isolated if necessary. At a suggestion from Diziat. So I'm just going, can we put more useless, get more useless? I mean, is this actually just useless clothing? Is this just clothing in general? What did I actually set this stockpile up for? It's clothing in general, right. Should I also make it a place where we store armour that we're not going to use? Because like it is also useful. It is both useful and useless clothing. So that's the armour that we could use, isn't it? Excuse me, I think I need to do something about my computer. We're running at 12 frames per second here. There's a button somewhere that will fix that. It goes. Oh no, there it goes. What? Well, I don't know how you lot experienced that, but we're now up to 40 something frames per second, which is much better. But for some reason, my laptop just froze for like 10 seconds. Anyway, looks like the stream is still there, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Right, what was I doing? Yes, I was considering matters, that was it. I was considering whether I should put more stuff in this stockpile in order to have less stuff just lying around the place. I think that's probably a good plan. So I'm just finding random bits of goblin lying around that need to be disposed of. Also, there appears to be some tin bars embedded in the wall, which I'm not sure should be possible. Right, yes, apparently the stream did indeed pause for a little while I was reconfiguring things to go faster. Anyway, I'm going to adjust this. Oh, can I? Yes, I can, because what I want to do is to add armour qua armour and say that we will have everything that's not made of metal in there. So there we have usable and unusable as two options. We don't have usable and unusable for other stuff. Well, let's see if that helps with getting more stuff moved in there. Surprisingly little it appears, but maybe people are going to fill those bins rather than dumping stuff loose in the stockpile. Oh, I should get my washing in from the washing line. That would be a good plan before I go to bed. Right, now those crossbow bolts are flying at the correct speed. I'm sorry, the number of dogs is just making me want a small cave near the entrance with a door in front of it and a big lever that's labelled "Release the Hounds." Like, I'm sure it wouldn't be a good idea and would not actually lead to great victories. On the other hand, as a like mop-up force, when you're down to like 10 elves that need killing, they might be useful. I don't know. Because we do have an awful lot of dogs now. Like, we could just burrow a small hole here and stick and label it kennels. Sorry, it's just too tempting. This is entirely because I want a lever that's labelled "Release the Hounds." A black cap splint. Right. Thank you. Just what I always wanted. Eros Thun, the Handle of Dominion, which is like quite a good name for a splint, I suppose. This is a black cap splint. All craftsdwarf ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with round shale cabochons and decorated with black cap and cave spider silk. This object is adorned with hanging rings of phyllite and menaces with spikes of phyllite and water buffalo leather. On the item is an image of dwarves in platinum. The dwarves are travelling. The artwork relates to the foundation of Fild's tombs by the incidental fortification of the noble work in the early spring of 123. 10 years ago now. On the item is an image of dwarves in phyllite. The dwarves are travelling. Hang on. The artwork relates to the foundation of Filled tombs by the incidental fortification of the noble work in the early spring of 123. So you have drawn two designs, one in platinum and one in phyllite, both relating to the foundation of Filled tombs. Where is this item going to be put? Is it going into the hospital? It is. Well, someone who breaks their arm is going to be very pleased. So the interesting thing is that we don't seem to be getting a lot of armour being stored there. Right, I notice we do actually have a bunch of other materials here, which we probably in the like actually armour stockpile, which I think we don't want. Like, we're not really interested in anything that's not made of metal. Like, none of that's going to be any good. So I think we should turn off other materials there. Which might lead to a bunch of items being moved out. Oh, I notice I've now got a wall that abuts my yeah, we're going to want that wall reinforced, aren't we? So let's just put a reinforced block wall along there. We've got a decent amount of steel at the moment. Let's do it in steel for amusement value. Because obviously after we've released the hounds, there is a danger that they will, that then someone will come in through there and try to invade the fortress. Should we have a bridge, or I was going to put a pair of doors at the entrance to this, but doors are, they're not that delicate actually, given we're going to have a reinforced wall at the back. And if you do break in there, what you'll find is a large number of rather annoyed war dogs. Simon asks, after you release the hounds, how do you unrelease them again? The simple answer is the dwarves go out and fetch them all, though I suspect the real answer is by then most of them will have been killed by the goblins. But we'll see. There are quite a lot of them. That one's a lion, though. I mean, we could add the war lion, but I think we need to reach the point where we've bred so many lions that we go, oh well, we'll just shove a bunch of lions in there. I think I might need some more space. So I think I want to make some doors that are like no. I was about to say I want to make some doors that are not stupidly decorated, but really this is filled tombs. I'll try to choose two doors that kind of match. So yeah, what the this will be a pen, and so the dwarves will, as you can see them currently doing until I stop them doing so, the dwarves will automatically bring the dogs in. It's already start enlarging it because I don't think it's going to be big enough. So we'll remove those slopes just because they feel wrong. And there's no such thing as dog food in Dwarf Fortress. Dogs don't eat. Oh, it's an Etin. Right, the Etin is on the surface. Etins are probably not very scary to us right now, but we still shouldn't be randomly pissing around outside the fortress at the time. Oh dear, the puppies I think follow their parents. That might be unfortunate. Maybe we need a separate puppy farm, just so that we don't release the puppies, because they're obviously kind of critical to being the next generation of hounds. Right. Yes, so we need to treat this as a siege. which will cause a lot of people to suddenly go, oh, I can't do that job then. So now we are reconfiguring things. Pull that lever slightly later. So a lot of jobs are about to get cancelled. I mean, some of these, I'm not going to worry too much about the people who are currently hauling dogs. I'm sure they will rush back inside promptly. He says, you know, I think that's actually people fighting dogs. Oh no, that's a bunch of dogs falling into the, that's a bunch of people and dogs falling into the Barbican. So we have a quantity of bruised people and indeed dogs currently going, what? Why did the floor just vanish up from underneath me? But that will probably distract them from their dog moving task at least. No, there are still too many people moving dogs around. I'm going to cancel various tasks if I can. Actually, possibly, I should just, yeah, this would be better. Just pause that pasture temporarily, so that we don't actually try to keep anyone in it. And while we're there, right. At that point, all the dogs immediately leave again. Damn it, the Etin's already found someone. Maybe we should. Right, this Etin is sufficiently much of a problem that I'm getting the military involved immediately. Because the Etin has already started killing people. I mean, okay. The Etin, oh right, what? This may not actually need very much violence then. So the Etin appears to have got into a fight with a dog and unsurprisingly was quite bad for the dog. But it did get hurt by a stone carver. And then repeatedly bitten. And then I think, don't quite, yes, the Etin dodged a dog, war dog, and fell into the moat. And even if you miss the spikes, falling into the moat is a pretty unpleasant experience. And thus the Etin's heart has been badly injured by smashing into the bottom of the moat. And I think if we get someone down there with a weapon, we probably can't rely on the Etin bleeding out, but I think this will actually do an adequate job because our moat has done precisely what it's meant to do. Oh no, the Etin's dead. The Etin did indeed just fall into the moat and then bleed to death. Right. Did successfully kill one of our dwarves though, so like not wholly a good experience. What do the other levers around here do? Find someone who has not very much by way of skills and make them into a siege operator. At least not much by way of useful skills. Yes, I think that, well, yes. You think you, dear Milker, dear legendary Milker, should probably learn to be a siege operator. We should dispose of those corpses and that spare tooth while we're looking down here. Oh, and we should reinstate the wagon bridge, shouldn't we? Pink Beast asks, is Hilarita a bed?
Well, technically not right this second, but I am kind of passing through. Does Pink Beast have multiple prunes or is Pink Beast dead?
Right, what was I doing? Oh yes, I was going to label that. Pink Bee says, guess who's in the corridor of mummy bastards on Tomb 1?
Someone who's about to die?
Right, so, where was I? Yes,
Mute.
trying to accomplish the thing, getting all the dogs into a place, possibly arranging that the puppies are kept somewhere else if that turns out to be a problem. Of course, once we've linked up these doors, they will need to be we'll have to operate them with the lever. So there will be a bit of a problem. Do we add another door that's not operated by a lever, but that we lock at the start of any siege, I wonder? Probably not. But I am slightly wondering how we organise this. Oh, that's interesting. I think this door was open at the time it got linked and thus ended up latched in the open position rather than the closed position. Once we operate the lever, it will fix itself. So yes, I think we may need to actually, you can see here, can't you? There's currently only 20 of the 42 assigned dogs are in the kennel. I think if we pull that lever twice, the doors will sort themselves out. They're possibly not into the correct state. And this time the other one hasn't closed, has it? The process of stuffing all of the dogs into the kennel is turning, yeah, kind of weird. Let's pull that lever again so it's in the open state. I'm kind of tempted to allocate some space for storing puppies. Simply so that they don't all end up running back and forth as they currently seem to be doing between the living area and the kennels. Yes, well, I suppose I could make a new one, couldn't I? Another pen/pasture somewhere down here. We might possibly have too many puppies in this fortress. we're going to want the puppy storage area to be a bit bigger. Right, well, that seems to have settled things down a bit. There are no longer any puppies in the main kennels. And there are a fairly stupid number of puppies down here. So we may need to... okay, there are now puppies back up there again. Are we now going to end up in a situation where dwarves are continuously moving puppies around? Because the puppies are fundamentally ungovernable. Oh, I should reconfigure my siege engines as well, shouldn't I? I'm now thinking that what I want is to somehow be able to close the door on the kennels at some point where all of the dogs are inside and no one else is inside. But this might be hard to arrange. I mean, now appears to be a good moment. So we are 2 dogs short, so... And now we're up 2 puppies. I mean, I think these may turn out to be a rather probabilistic kennel. Right. I mean, this is most of the dogs are in the right place, and possibly if I want the dwarves not to be spending all their time dragging them back and forth. We're going to have to accept that some of them are going to be in the wrong place at any given time. There's some more bits of goblin that need disposing of. Right. That looks quite a good situation. How close to correct is it? We're only 2 dogs down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the release the hound switch. Release the hounds switch. What? Is that door not working properly, or was there just a... I'm going to assume that there was a puppy in the wrong place at precisely the wrong moment. Right, so the kennel is now mostly full of war dogs. 40 out of 42 are present. And the puppy area is mostly full of puppies. I'm then going to pause both of those on the grounds that they may as well just stay where they are, but we don't want the dwarves to be constantly dragging them around. Oh, SGT suggests you want a hound chute for dropping extra hounds into the kennel from above when you catch one that failed to be inside when you shut the door. I wonder if we could accomplish that. I presume this flickering over here means it's snowing. So the tricky thing is that... Oh, I suppose we could just have the dwarves pit the dogs, couldn't we? Yes. So Seb says, with a trampoline, and Steph asks the question, are they guaranteed to land safely? And I'm not sure they are, which worries me a bit. But we could put a little pond in there. So that then we would drop the dogs in and they would land in like shallow water, not deep enough to drown them, but probably deep enough to break their fall. Are they guaranteed to land safely? They are if there's a trampoline. Yes, and indeed, if we were to like construct a kapok floor underneath them, then that would probably break their fall a bit. Don't think we can put them into mine carts. But yes, we could have a hound chute that you drop them into. That would work. Not K-pop, K-pok. The wood that's traditionally used to make life jackets. Kind of like cork, but even lighter. We probably haven't got any in stock. We could try to order some. I think that 8 indicates that we've only actually got 8 unused logs. I'm not sure. No, surely it indicates we've got 8 that are in use. If we've got that much, we might have some kapok. Yes, we have. So maybe we should make a hole which we half fill with a small bath area in the corner of the kennel, which we half fill with water and we line with kapok, half fill with water, and then we drop the dogs into it from above. Does that sound like a sensible plan? Like I think the kapok and the water are both going to be helpful here. I mean, if we could do it on one level and see if it hurts the dogs when we drop them on it, just by making a kapok floor. let's try that first. That would be closer to Claire's desire. And then we'll see if that doesn't work, then I'll try doing it with water instead. Well, as well. We'll need to release the hounds to do this, of course. So the way we do that is the slightly complicated thing of first we unpause the kennels so that they will not try to leave, and then we pull the lever that's marked release the hounds. Right, so we do want that hole in the ceiling though. But we want to build a section of soft floor, well, fairly soft floor. And then actually we don't want the dogs to be in there, do we? So we want to select that and pause it, so that then the dogs will leave. It is weird the way that animals in this know when their pasture has been disabled. Right, so now we have a kapok log floor there. Now let's unrelease the hounds. And we want to designate up here around the hole a pit/pond. And it's a pit rather than a pond. And once the unreleasing hounds job has completed, then we assign a bunch of war dogs. Let's just do a few for now and see if it, because like if it turns out to be injurious to them, then it would obviously be bad to throw all of my dogs down that hole. Right, and that dog was not hurt by being thrown down there. Let's just watch a few more. I think I should also put a lid on the hole. It looks though like the puppies don't try to follow them in. So I'm a little alarmed at the way that we now have 3 dogs in one square. Presumably they'll separate in due course. Yes, right, good. I think possibly falling 1 Z level like this is always harmless anyway. Hey, I've watched several dogs go in there and all of them have been unharmed. I think, yeah, it's not actually possible for this to be harmful, but like, I still like having a soft floor there for them to land on. Let's stick a hatch cover over it. Can't remember what colour all of these are. Let's go for a gypsum one because they're bright yellow. That way, that will also discourage them from climbing out even if they can. Not that they seem to mind it, so it's all good. Right, let us properly label that zone hound shoot. Oh, here's a problem. If I assign all of the dogs to it, then some of them are inside and are going to keep generating job cancellations. Well, let's assign them all to it, and then when we get bored, we'll cancel the ones that turn out to already be inside. In the normal case, this isn't such a problem because I would close the door and then select all of the dogs. It's just that I'd gone and selected some of them already. Yes, I'm sure at some point we will get a dwarf stuck in there. Oh, does that mean we can't pit pets? Because our pet war dogs don't appear in this list. How curious. And I think I don't want the kennels thing anymore. I think that zone can be deleted. So I think now oh, is it? No, I paused that. Why are there so few tasks? This is kind of making me suspicious. What's happened to all my dwarves? Are they... I mean, they're mostly doing useless things, but we're a bit short on booze, actually. I was just wondering what useful things they could be doing and realised we have no booze. I think this might be because we've lost our farm plots that were growing strawberries. It should be growing something useful. Like, it's not a terrible booze situation, it's just less good than I would like. It's quite a good hatch cover. Yeah, but there are no dogs being put into the trampoline now either. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 in progress, I think. Oh, okay, that's a suitable number of activities going on again. Maybe everyone was distracted, yes, as Claire says, by the dogs. Oh, are we short of copper? We should do something about that. We should go and mine some tetrahedrite, if there's some conveniently available. That's not very far away, but it is damp. Let's not do that. Don't know if those squares are accessible. Looks like I don't quite know how that's working. Maybe I can find some more accessible tetrahedrite somewhere. Ideally that isn't damp. Tetrahedrite keeps being just above ground level in an annoying way, or floor level rather. Here there's like 3 different useful minerals tangled up with one another. Right. I am still a little concerned with the way that things aren't happening as far as these dogs are concerned. Like, we don't seem to have pitted anything after I installed that floor hatch, as though the floor hatch somehow is blocking the pit, which it shouldn't do. Also, I'm curious about our brewing situation. Why is no one harvesting? Why is there some weirdness that I've screwed up the tasks? Like, we have the weird thing that we have no woodcutters, but that's kind of fine. We don't want hunters. Oh, planters appears to be set to only selected do this and no one's selected for it. Well, let's fix that then. Like, that would explain why we're short of strawberries. I mean, admittedly, for some reason we grow chicory, but whatever. Still, no one seems to be taking on the job of putting a... We only seem to have one job for putting dogs in the hound chute, and no one's taking it on. I'm going to dismantle this just in case it's something about that floor hatch. Just training all of the newly grown up dogs for war. So there's lots of lovely tetrahedrite down there now, which we can... so let's quickly dig up that green tourmaline, and we can smelt that tetrahedrite into something useful. We could also reclaim those aventurines that I think had marked not to be collected because something was going on that made it dangerous to collect them. There's a bit more tetrahedrite down here that looks, well, some of it is safe to collect. That bit I think is currently connected to the inside of the fortress, but that seems like what we should actually be doing is separating that from the inside of the fortress, because that kind of long corridor is not actually a useful thing to have in the fortress. Oh, I wonder if we might have a problem that someone is meant to be pitting one of the dogs that's already down the pit and can't get to it, and thus the entire pit system has seized up. So let's temporarily pause that, release the hounds, close the door again, and then try again. Oops, didn't leave them quite long enough to get released. Try that again. No, leave. Thank you, right. Right, will that work any better? Right, that seems to be working a bit better. Oh, good. We're apparently brewing things correctly again, right? Or at least we haven't quite run out of things to brew stuff from. We've just made a barrel of prickleberry wine, and someone's already drinking it before it's even been moved to the correct stockpile. We don't now seem to have a new pit dog task going. What's going on there? Yes, that's curious. Yes, I think we now have to put the dogs in by this route, and it's not entirely clear that even that works quite properly. In particular, I'm a bit worried about what happens if what pond are you filling? Also, I just saw something and I don't know what it is. It's not meant to be a pond. Why are you filling it with water? Okay, it's accidentally set to be a pond. Stop it. I mean, you're not filling it with water, you filled it with ice. Right, that's why they're not putting anyone in there. I had somehow accidentally turned it into a pond. What that meant was someone tipped water in there. But it's currently winter and it's below freezing outside. So that water immediately froze into a solid block of ice, which made it impossible to get any dogs in anymore. Right. That kind of explains things. This is why we shouldn't try to put a pond there, because it will freeze in the winter. Right, let me fix that. Release the hounds. And remove the ice. If we can. No one seems to be, it doesn't seem to be like marked for mining, but I'm not quite sure whether, is there something wrong with this square that says that it isn't solid? It looks solid. The floor's vanished. No, don't bring them all. Oh. Oh, is it actually open space below there now? It is. Well, now there doesn't seem to be any problem with putting dogs in there. What? Maybe it is just a floor. Well, let's see what happens. Like, this isn't going to work very well because the door's still open, but... Okay, yes, it isn't solid. It is just ice on the floor, which is still not ideal. Can I put a new floor in there, please? Yes, I can. Now I'm now I'm confused, because now apparently putting the hounds in there works perfectly well. I mean, except that they won't stay there. But I think they will be. They are being slowly removed from the list, so it's okay. Right, we've got a new squishy floor. I think when I paused this, I accidentally turned it into a pond instead. Right, so let's turn off all of the dogs from being put into the pit. Close the door again and see if we can fill it up this time, or if it's somehow confused in a new way. Sadly, they can't immediately rush round for another go because putting them into the pit immediately removes them from the pit's list of targets. And it's critical now that I mark every single war dog for this, because I won't afterwards be able to tell which ones are inside and which ones are outside, given that the dogs from here only have one attribute. So has that worked, or is there something weird? Right, that's looking good now. So admittedly, I don't know where the dogs actually are. This is just our usual start of year autosave. Tum-tum. It's getting quite good for not upsetting people now. Who is our one seriously unhappy dwarf anyway? He's one of our... You look like you really ought to be doing all right, but if nothing else, got several cats. Right, here's the mob of dogs being hauled to their new home. Let's see if this works properly this time. So we can train the new dogs for war, but we don't really want to try to put them into the kennel, simply because we can't tell which ones are already in the kennel. So I think we essentially now don't try to put any more dogs in the kennel. Any dog, because the thing is that now, like, most of them are not marked as to be pitted, because indeed none of them are, because they've all been put in there already. So I think then any further dogs get trained for war but not put in the pit, and we'll not put into the kennel, and we'll put them into the kennel at such time as we've emptied it again, for instance, because we have released the hounds. Right, so we are actually brewing more booze, and I shouldn't really be very worried about it. And like, we're starting to plant plants properly again, and we'll be going strawberries in a moment. What? Diplomacy? What? We have not disrespected the trees in this area. We have not cut down a single tree. Bah. I mean, we use wood. But we don't cut down trees. We import wood. Here is a visiting human scholar. They have brought inquiries on the tower, which is about vessel platted. Lots of people write about vessel platted, though. I should point out it's not a dog pond. It was only briefly a dog pond, and it didn't work very well when I made it into a dog pond. So it is now not a dog pond. Our incoming scholar feels pleasure near a splendid bridge. Doesn't feel anything talking to an acquaintance. Does like our doors, though. Doesn't seem to be going to the library, mind. Are you leaving already? Well, that wasn't very useful. You didn't even let us read your book. There's a lot of crossbow bolts up there. Are they all forbidden? Oh, they're arrows. I mean, we could still unforbid them. Don't know if we'll bother using them, mind, but we do have bows in some of our weapon traps, for instance. Right, yes, I think, as Steph points out, it is midnight. So it is possible that now would be a good time, now that we have a more or less functioning hound chute. I am slightly worried about it not having a roof on it, though. Not having a lid on it, but when I put a lid on it, it stopped working properly, so I'm a bit... We'll experiment some more with that later. I suppose we could put a lid on it now and then test it again next time. Oh, what now? Okay, we've got some visiting merchants, but I don't think I should attempt to do anything with that now. So I think we should probably wind up for the night, and we'll come back probably on Sunday. Oh, dwarf happiness situation getting even better. So at this point I will return, I will save. Yes, it probably was a houndshoot test. Thank you, Seb. Right, so yes, we will save now and find the button that says good night and say good night. Good night.